In a blaze of pyrotechnics, first time that they say had fire on that lake. The 3.5-minute display left a crowd of onlookers cheering. The streaming water formed the show's iconic throne and crown. The display, however, did not reveal any elements of the new season. The special fountain show will run nightly until April 13th. That's the day before the 8th and final season of Game of Thrones, the premiere next Sunday.
Just when you thought the fountains couldn't get even cooler.
That is pretty cool. They've never had fire on that water before.
Wow.
So, do you watch Game of Thrones?
No, I've got to catch up now on how many seasons. I've got to get started.
A long way to go. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, marijuana use in Wisconsin is illegal. How members of one religious group in Madison are legally able to use cannabis.
Plus, we now know what caused an apartment fire in Cambridge, what firefighters are saying about the cause.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for watching. Eric will be back tomorrow. Marijuana is not legal in the state of Wisconsin.
But a new church here in Madison is saying, yes, we can this through religious means. Jamie Perez spoke to a group that identifies as Wisconsin's first and only lawful Rastafari cannabis sanctuary. Jamie.
That's right. Well, just to be blunt, the people who started this church here say the First Amendment protects them from state laws and allows them to do this. The First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The founders of this particular church say they're practicing just that.
If you drive down Mifflin Street, a couple new signs on this building might catch your attention. It certainly took a hit for Jamison Hutchins.
I just saw those THC edibles on the side, and I was like, whoa, like I just was very interested.
We were interested too.
This is a nonprofit church.
Jesse Schwark and Dylan Bangert are the joint effort behind this place. You can search them online and learn about their mission and how the Rastafarian religion is practiced. But one of the most surprising things to Madisonians is how they weed out the bad.
We all use cannabis to meditate and also for the religious purpose of uplifting our mind and our body and our spirit.
Cannabis is used as a religious sacrament, so you can't just roll up and buy it. You have to be a member of their church and make donations to them.
We just want people to be sincere in that aspect of the religion. We don't have to agree on everything. We're open, we're all denominational, so you can come as you are. You can be yourself and share your stories and the things that you know. We don't have a monopoly on knowledge or anything like that, so we just try to encourage people to talk and have fellowship together and break bread.
Here's how you can join.
So this part is a membership. So people have to be sincere and they have to be legitimate. They have to agree that they use it for sacrament.
We know what you're all asking. Is this legal? According to the Pew Research Center, in 2006, the Supreme Court ruled that a religious group can use an illegal drug in their worship services. And they've got their documentation from the state of Wisconsin legitimizing them.
I support what's going on here. This is cool.
He's not the only one who supports it. They've given out about 5,000 cards to new members so far. And while their space isn't done just yet, they are open. In the next few weeks, they will have coffee, tea, edibles, oils, and more for their religious practices.
Revolutionary.
Once they've got their space all done and ready, you can go there just as you would go to any church to talk to them if you need to, read books, and learn about the Rastafarian religion and also meditate. I did reach out to the Department of Justice for their comments on the legality of this. They have not responded to me just yet.
As Susan said, that's the most Madison story we've ever had. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie. Let's get a check on the weather now. Gary Canalti is on the windy weather patio. Hi, Gary.
Hi, a little breezy out here, but it is milder than it was this weekend. And for the most part, we're going to see a fairly mild week. Visible cloud track shows that clouds are starting to thicken up a little bit over parts of southern Wisconsin. We had some thicker clouds up to the north, with even the possibility for some snowflakes falling from the clouds over east central Wisconsin earlier. The next batch of precipitation out to the west, moving through southwestern Minnesota. By the time it reaches us, it'll be mainly in the form of rain showers, but areas north to west of Madison might be cold enough to at least see some flurries of snow mix in with the rain late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Otherwise, most of southern Wisconsin right now free of precipitation on Doppler track. Low temperatures this morning varied from the 30s out near the Mississippi River to the teens east of Madison. A lot of that had to do with cloud cover. The clouds moved in west of Madison late at night, but some sunshine this afternoon allowed high temperatures to climb into the middle 50s over southwestern Wisconsin. Here in Madison, we topped out at 51, but notice to the north and east, only 37 so far for the high in Manitowoc. Temperatures stayed in the 30s there. Temperatures still close to Lake Michigan, around 40, especially north of Milwaukee, but the rest of southern Wisconsin seeing temperatures closer to 50 degrees. Those winds out of the south, 15 to 25 miles per hour, seeing some gusts over 30 miles per hour at times. By tomorrow morning, we'll see some rain showers develop. Again, they can be mixed with a few flakes of snow north and west of Madison. Low temperatures will drop into the middle 30s. The showers should end by around lunchtime tomorrow, and then we'll see some sunshine in the afternoon as our high temperature gets up to 53 degrees. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thank you, Gary. 3 households in Cambridge are waiting to go back home after a devastating fire.
It happened a little after 2:30 yesterday afternoon in a 4-unit complex on North Pleasant Street. Our Madeline O'Neill is live there now with the latest. Maddie?
Susan and Mark, as you can see, the 2nd unit in the complex is the most damaged. It's considered a complete loss. It's where the fire began. Officials say it was started by a child. According to the Dane County Sheriff's Department, an 8-year-old was playing with a torch lighter that he uses for crafts when he accidentally lit a couch on fire. It quickly spread from there, causing more than $300,000 worth of damage to the complex and about $20,000 worth of damage to the outside of a building next door. Now, everyone was able to get out safely, including pets, but Cambridge's Fire Chief Terry Johnson says it's a reminder to keep lighters locked up or out of children's reach.
Certainly we want to have the kids aware that these things are real dangerous, especially in a building, whether it's out of a building or in a building, but inside a building, if things start quickly and people can be in danger.
The Red Cross is assisting displaced residents. We spoke with the man who lives in the 2nd unit where this fire started. He says he's not sure what to do next. And he did lose cash he had been saving up in his apartment in the fire. But he says the most important thing here is everyone got out safely, including his 2 boys. And there is a GoFundMe page set up for the family. You can find that link on our website in the story about this fire. Mark and Susan.
The most important thing, nobody got hurt. Madeline O'Neill in Cambridge, thank you.
Thank you, Maddie. A new analysis shows Governor Tony Evers would face a nearly $2 billion shortfall heading into his 2nd budget.
The Legislative Fiscal Bureau released an analysis today that shows the state would face a $1.9 billion imbalance in the general fund heading into the 2021-23 fiscal year. The estimate is the largest projection since analysts forecast a $2.5 billion imbalance headed into the 2011-2013 biennium. The estimate does not factor in revenue growth, population increases or decreases, inflation, or changes Republicans may make to the 2019-21 budget this summer.
It is Election Day tomorrow, and if you live in Madison, you'll have the chance to head to the polls and choose the mayor of Madison.
Sadia Rose Conway is challenging current Mayor Paul Soglin, and Rose Schmidt tells us about their plans, their final pitches to voters. Rose?
Yeah, so Mayor Paul Soglin and Satia Rhodes Conway are advocating for a number of the same issues, like bringing housing and addressing inequity in the community. But they tell me they each bring something different to the job. Soglin, the veteran mayor, and Rose Conway, the advocate for change. Today, Soglin was a guest on the Spanish language radio station La Movida and spoke to students on the UW campus. And Rhodes Conway spent the last day before the election knocking on doors on the north side. She has never run for mayor before, but currently manages a think tank called the Mayor's Innovation Project. Soglin is telling voters that he's proven he can make a difference and says his challenger lacks his experience.
This campaign, I think, has brought out some real distinct differences, even though both my opponent and I are viewed as being progressives. Difference in experience.
You know, I did serve on the council for 6 years, so I know how things work in City Hall. And I've also been working with mayors all around the country for the past 13 years and a whole range of public policy and implementing projects.
Rhodes Conway also named rapid transit and preparing for climate change as issues she's advocating for. Meanwhile, Soglin says he's focused on managing and making change happen in Madison, something he says the city has received national recognition for. And both candidates say they hit the campaign trail hard over the past few months and are hoping to have high turnout tomorrow, especially among young people.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Also on the ballot statewide tomorrow, Liberal-backed Lisa Neubauer and fellow appeals court judge Brian Hagedorn, the favorite of conservatives, will face off in the state Supreme Court race. The winner will serve a 10-year term. Middleton voters will decide whether their stormwater bill should triple to help the city make repairs from last summer's flooding. The city counted more than $5 million in damage to its stormwater management facilities during all of that rain. The referendum asks if homeowners are willing to pay $45 for their stormwater utility charge instead of the current rate of $15 through 2024. The city might also get some help from FEMA, though it's not clear yet how much. Voters in the Milton School District will decide whether or not to pass a $60 million referendum. Voters will decide if the district can borrow that money to make facility improvements to all of its schools except for Northside Intermediate. That includes meeting ADA requirements, adding spaces for math, science, and technology classes, and renovating common areas. For homeowners, the referendum would raise property taxes about $164 per $100,000 of property value. Milton voters have rejected 2 referenda in the past 3 years. Many are wondering if young voters will show up at the polls like they did in last year's midterm election. It's estimated voters ages 18 to 35 increased by about 80,000, having a large impact on Governor Tony Evers' win for governor. But spring elections are not as popular. On News 3 Now tonight at 6, our Amanda Quintana will have more on if young people are likely to turn out in big numbers once again tomorrow. And if you do not already have a Wisconsin driver's license, ID, or other form of ID needed to vote, you can still get one from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation Division of Motor Vehicles. There are documentation requirements such as birth certificate, proof of identity, and Wisconsin residency in order to obtain an official Wisconsin ID card. Right now, there are almost 114,000 Americans waiting for an organ transplant. About 2,000 of them are right here in Wisconsin, and another person is added to that list every 10 minutes across the country. Hospitals here in Madison are recognizing that need, and donors, the possible donors out there with a pause to give life. A special donor flag was raised outside UW Hospital and Meriter Hospital at 10:08 a.m. That represents the 8 lives that one donor can save. One area donor donated her kidney to a total stranger in August of 2015.
In 2009, I lost my mom to domestic violence, and as horrifying as that was, I knew that I wanted to find a special way to honor her life, especially because she brought life into this world every day, working as a nurse in the OB department. And my way that I found was to donate my kidney.
If you'd like to learn more about becoming an organ donor, visit donatelifewisconsin.org. If your commute takes you through downtown Madison, you may want to find a new route starting today. A $3.5 million street reconstruction project is underway, particularly the intersection of John Nolan Drive and Willie Street. This project will affect East Wilson Street, South Franklin Street, South Blair Street, Williamson Street, South Blount Street, and Capital City Bike Path. The city hopes to have that project complete by mid-August. The other major project is on Johnson Street, where crews will be tackling about 3,000 feet of roadway from Baldwin Street all the way to First Street. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at 5. Demonstrations are happening in Chicago over the Jussie Smollett case. We'll have the very latest. President Trump is doubling down on a threat to shut down part of the southern border this week. How that decision could impact trade and the economy. And a big day on Wall Street. The Dow Industrial's up 330 points. The Nasdaq up 100. And the S&P 500 gained 33. We'll be right back.
Well, the controversy surrounding the decision to drop all the charges against Empire actor Jussie Smollett is showing no signs of dying down.
The Chicago Police Union held a protest today against Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx, whose office dropped the charges against Smollett. Foxx's supporters were also on hand for a counter rally. Foxx has been under pressure since her office dropped the charges against the Empire actor, who had been accused of staging a hate crime against himself. Foxx defended her office's decision.
If your own prosecutor told us that he believes Mr. Smollett is guilty, why not get that guilty plea from him as part of this deal?
Because according to the statute, you don't have to. If he pays the restitution, if he does the community service, how he spins what he's done, is that outcome consistent with others who are similarly situated?
Chicago's mayor is demanding Smollett pay $130,000 to cover the overtime the city spent on police officers who worked the case. Smollett's lawyer called the demand grandstanding.
President Trump threatened to close the southern border this week, but White House officials say they haven't looked at what that could mean for trade with Mexico. Experts say a closure could be catastrophic for U.S. and Mexico's economies. While Senator Martha McSally believes there is a crisis, she also says the border should stay open.
I believe we need to keep legitimate trade and travel flowing through our border ports of entry.
The bilateral trading relationship with Mexico is between $550 and $600 billion a year. If you think you're going to stop that trade at the border, then you're looking at almost $2 billion a day that you're going to be losing in lost trade.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen says the crisis at the border is worsening, and she has ordered a redeployment of hundreds of Customs and Border Patrol agents to the border. She also wants to expand a policy of returning asylum seekers to Mexico while their court cases play out.
Let's get a check on the weather now. Gary is here in the studio with us. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Susan. Things pretty quiet out there right now. We had some clouds earlier, some sunshine in between, and now some clouds moving back in. You can see this on visible cloud track. So here's the clouds that we had earlier this morning, and then a little bit of a break, especially over southwestern Wisconsin. Areas to the north of Madison stayed in the clouds all day, and temperatures have been cooler there. In fact, you take a look at Doppler track, there are even some light snow showers up in the northeastern portion of the state. Those have moved away, though. The time lapse from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville shows the early morning clouds giving way to some sunshine this afternoon, and now you can see the clouds are starting to roll back in again. In fact, the live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam shows mostly cloudy skies in Platteville. As we check out the live view from the WISC Skycam, this is looking off toward the east, showing mostly cloudy skies as well. The Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison also showing cloudy skies. And as we check out the almanac for today, our high temperature did make it up to 51 degrees after starting out at 28 this morning, so very close to the averages of 51 and 30. Right now our temperature is 50 degrees. Skies are mostly cloudy, winds out of the south-southwest at 14 miles per hour. The air is still pretty dry, the humidity only at 41%. In fact, you take a look at temperatures in the northern portion of the state, they're in the 30s, whereas southwestern Wisconsin seeing temperatures generally in the 50s. A little tongue of milder air that's moving in thanks to brisk southwesterly winds. But notice the winds shifting around to the northwest. There's actually a weak cold front in here that will drop the temperatures a little bit later on. The strongest winds right now are pretty much over the far southern parts of the state into northern Illinois. Many locations seeing winds in the 25 to 35 mile per hour range, the highest gusts, but those winds die down pretty quickly out to the west of us. Upper level winds right now from west to east across our part of the country. You can see the jet stream actually coming in from the northwest, bringing in a little cooler air in the north central part of the country, but out to the southwest, another storm system digging into the west will eventually start sending milder weather our way toward the end of the week. In the short term, we've got this weak cold front coming through. It'll be more of a wind shift than anything else. It's not a dramatic drop in temperatures. And then a little wave of low pressure on the southern end of that front, also moving eastward. And that's what will bring us the precipitation from late tomorrow night into Wednesday. As we look at current temperatures, no really super mild air around, but no really super cold air around either. Temperatures ranging from the 30s up near the U.S.-Canadian border to the 50s and low 60s to our south. As you check out future track, you can see the threat for rain showers, maybe mix a little snow north and west of Madison late tonight. That moves on through. And then then after a quiet day tomorrow, look for the next weather system to start bringing us some precipitation chances as we head from tomorrow night into Thursday. Most of that will stay to our south, but again, it's possible there could be a couple of flakes of snow that will mix in on the northern edge of that precipitation. So our forecast for tonight calls for skies to be mostly cloudy. We'll see some rain showers develop overnight. That could be mixed with a few flakes of snow north and west of Madison, low at 35. For tomorrow, look for a high temperature of 53. Some morning shower chances giving way to partly sunny skies later in the day. So on future track, you can see the clouds, shower chances developing later tonight. Again, a little bit of light snow north and west of Madison. Shouldn't stick to the ground, though. And then skies by tomorrow afternoon start clearing out. After quiet conditions tomorrow night, look for the next chance of precipitation to start approaching from the south and west late in the day on Wednesday as high temperatures get into the lower 50s. Rainfall amounts will probably be somewhere around 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. Otherwise, look for those temperatures to cool off for Thursday. But look at the warm-up as we head into the next weekend. Temperatures upper 60s by Sunday with some shower and thunderstorm chances from late Sunday into Monday. A little cooler after that, but high temperatures still in the upper 60s, 50s to around 60 degrees. As we take a look at first alert traffic, seeing some slowdowns in the usual spots on the Beltline. This is the live view of the DOT camera at Park Street in the Beltline. Traffic moving fairly okay in both directions, a little slower in the eastbound direction. We're seeing slowdowns eastbound beginning around Monona Drive, off and on back to around Seminole Highway. Westbound seeing a few delays between Fish Hatchery Road and Park Street, then also from around Park Street back toward John Nolan Drive. Right now, 30 minutes the eastbound commute from the University Avenue to the interstate on the Beltline, 15 minutes back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, it's 27 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline, 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 18 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert traffic.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, April is Autism Awareness Month. How there's a new push for parents and autism screening. That's coming up after the short break. Well, Autism Awareness Month kicks off today. The developmental disorder affects nearly 1 in 59 children in the U.S.
Now, a major advocacy group is launching a new awareness campaign to get children diagnosed earlier for the best possible future. Tom Hansen reports.
Let's get ready for school. Great job.
When Tanner Troy was missing developmental milestones as a toddler, his doctor recommended he be evaluated.
He was babbling. There was no words at all.
Tanner was diagnosed with autism at 2.5 years old.
Can I have the other foot?
But not all children in the U.S. are diagnosed as early as they can be. That's something Autism Speaks is hoping to change.
Screening can be done as early as 16 to 24 months. Autism can be diagnosed as early as 2 years, yet in the United States, the average age of diagnosis is 5 years old.
The new campaign, which features Julia, the Sesame Street Muppet with autism, hopes to lower the age of diagnosis. Lisa Goring from Autism Speaks also wants to reach Hispanic and African American communities where studies show children are diagnosed at later ages.
We want to make sure that parents are empowered with the information that they need so that all children are screened, and if necessary, to get the diagnosis and the supports that they may need.
Tanner started an early intervention program immediately after his diagnosis.
Tanner, can you give me a high five?
Nice.
Tiana believes it made all the difference for her son.
He is more social. He is able to do a lot of things on his own. If he didn't have that, he might still be 5 years old today with no words.
She says parents know their children and should reach out for help if they have any concerns about development. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
And we'll be right back with a final check of your forecast.
Here's a look at some of the stories we are working on tonight. White House security clearance, what a whistleblower is saying about the Trump administration's process. Former Vice President Joe Biden faces another claim he acted inappropriately, and how this baby beat the odds even before she was born. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
All right, Gary, a little breezy out there.
Yeah, but those winds are out of the south, so at least for part of our viewing area, those temperatures are above the 50-degree mark, a little cooler to the east and to the north. But tomorrow, look for a high of 53. You'll see some shower chances in the morning, some shower chances late in the day on Wednesday into Thursday, and then warmer weather as we head toward the weekend.
Check out the Weber.
Thanks for watching, everybody. The CBS Evening News is coming up next.